Hello, I'm Rocket Riley.
And I'm Hypnotic Hannah.
Well, Hannah, what are we doing here today again?
Well, I think our non-superhero friends asked us to teach everybody about the ACIS.
Well, what the heck is that?
Well, I don't know. You tell me, Rocket Riley.
Oh, okay. Well, the ACIS is an observational rating scale designed to capture an individual's social interactional ability while he or she is participating in a meaningful occupation.
The ACIS deals with 22 observational skills that are part of 3 different domains, and those are physicality, information exchange, and relations. So this assessment is purely observational. Also, it's very important that the client knows that their participation in social interaction is required of them through the whole time that the therapist is there.
And the therapist typically takes about 15 to 45 minutes of observation time, and then about 15 to 20 minutes for scoring. And then this will total to about 20 or 60 minutes to administer the whole test.
So the therapist can play a few roles. They can either be a participant, or they can just be a session leader or an observer. But it's important that they're taking notes the entire time.
So, Hypnotic Hannah, what kind of settings would you administer this test in?
You can do an open setting, you can do parallel, where the client is working alongside other people, cooperative, they're all working on the same task, or one-on-one, so the client is either with another client, with a therapist, or a family member. And then this can be either in the natural setting, or the therapist can kind of mimic a life role setting that the client would normally participate in, or they can do something that's completely different than what they're used to. So Rocket Riley, what kind of people would this be assessed on?
Well, this assessment can be used on a variety of people with interactive and communicative deficits. Some common diagnoses that this can be used with are psychiatric diagnoses and also intellectual disabilities. I should also note that this can be used with people with physical impairments such as cerebral palsy or spinal cord injuries, where they may be more dependent on communicative skills.
So now, to give a visual representation of the assessment, we're going to show a quick clip, and it's actually starring Rocket Riley and a star guest.
Yes, Rocket Riley, how can I help you?
Cynthia, the dreaded villain Sinister Scott is here to destroy all evidence-based practitioners.
Oh my God.
We have to go now.
All right now. Okay, let's go. Oh my God. Where are we going? Oh, we're going to my house?
This way.
Oh, this
yes,
way.
Your house.
Okay, to my house. Okay, all right. All right. Oh my God.
You're safe with me, Cynthia.
Oh, thank God, Rocket Riley. I just don't know how I would handle this. I didn't have you with me.
Wow, what do we have here?
We have Rocket Riley.
Oh,
rescuing
Rocket
me.
Riley.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is this your home?
This is my house. No, this isn't my house. Oh my God. I don't even know where I live. Wait a minute. This is where I live. All right.
We made
Okay,
it.
we made it.
This is your home,
This is my home.
and you made it safely.
Thank you, Rocket Riley. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh. Well, Rocket Riley,
Yes?
what are you going to do? Are you going to help me in some other way?
No?
No. All right. Well, can I get you anything? Water?
So hello, I'm Hypnotic Hannah, and I am the therapist that scored Rocket Riley. So as you can see, this is a score sheet, and it's split into the 3 different domains that we were talking about. We only scored 1 from each domain for time purposes, and I'll go over with using the scorebook. So as you can see at the top, you're going to fill out the demographic information about the client, and then here, the 1 through 4, those are just broad general definitions of what 1 through 4 means, and then it goes more in depth for each verb in the book. So in the physicality section, I gave Riley a 2 in the gestures because he had inappropriate arm gestures. And as you can come up to the book and see, a 2, the second bullet point says amount. So gestures appeared too much and the variety was inappropriate for the context. If you remember, Riley was kind of flapping his arms around, Cynthia was kind of confused what was going on, and it did impact the ongoing social action because it just kind of gave that delay. The second is engages. I gave Riley a 1 because when he walked into the room, he did not initiate the conversation. And in the book, over here, a 1 is deficit in ability of engaging, causing an unacceptable delay or breakdown in social action. And the first bullet point says, does not initiate and get involved, and requires social partners' intervention, and that's what happened with Cynthia. And then finally, in the relations column, I gave Riley a 3 because when he entered the house, he entered without being asked, and even when he did enter, Cynthia seemed extremely confused. And then a 3 here is questionable respecting ability. However, there is no disruption in ongoing social action. And then under the second bullet point, you can see it says, observer questions appropriateness of accommodation. And then at the top, it gives exactly what like respects would do or consist of, and then that is for all the verbs in the book. And then finally, if you wanted to just focus on one of these domains, such as physicality, there are score sheets that focus just on the one domain, so you could just use that.
Rather than being norm reference, this assessment is criterion reference, meaning that the scoring was based on the presence or severity of difficulty of each skill. Revisions were made to the assessment in 1989, 1993, and 1996 that clarified and expanded on the verbs of each domain. The latest revision came in 1999 that involved 52 OTs completing over 200 assessments. The study confirmed that the assessment's inter-rater and intra-rater reliability. The revisions also confirmed the assessment's internal, construct, and person response validity. The 1999 study concluded that additional research and revisions need to be done to the ACIS that help therapists choose better interventions that are related to their clients' abilities. The ACIS is useful because it gathers detailed information about the client's communicative and interactional deficits and the specific setting where these limitations may occur. This information can be provided to the client or others who may need to accommodate or support the client's communication and interaction skills.
So from this assessment, we can learn a lot about a client's social interaction strengths and weaknesses. Like I said before, this does not give any underlying reasons for why a client is going to have a social deficit. So then from there, the next process in the treatment would be the therapist looking at the client holistically and figuring out what is causing these deficits. So for example, this could be finding that a client acts a certain way in a certain environment. So this may be going into that environment, working with the client, pointing out these deficits to the client so that they can be more socially acceptable in these situations.
One of the weaknesses of the ACIS is that the therapist administering the test is often influenced by their own cultural beliefs or what they feel is acceptable in social interactions and communications. So obviously one important thing is language, so the therapist must be competent in the language that's spoken by the client and also understand certain cultural tendencies or expectations in a social interaction. Another weakness is that the test is not standardized, so scores cannot be compared to similar ages and sex of the client. And then also, the assessment is only used to evaluate adults. So adolescents are not a part of this assessment. And then finally, the last assessment was published in 1998, so it's slightly outdated.
So there's a lot of strengths to this assessment. The first is that it can be used on a variety of people, as Riley talked about earlier. It's not diagnostically bound. Though you can only use it on adults, you can use it on a variety of disabilities. It's done in the participant's natural setting. So this is really client-centered. The therapist is always trying to make sure that the activity that they're looking at is really engageful for the client and natural for the client so they can get the best data possible. Also, it's really easy to administer. All you really need is a test booklet. You don't need any certain materials for it, and you're just taking notes the whole time. And finally, it's theoretically based in MoHo. So it does have foundation, and Gary Kielhoffner was actually one of the...
Our old friend, Gary Kielhoffner.
Yes, our old friend.
Great.
He was one of the creators of the assessment, and it's been revised over and over again. So